Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again. As always, thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Today we're working on a 1997 Ford Taurus GL with a 3-liter. Customer's complaint is that the shifter will not come out of park. That's, key on, engine running, shifter just won't come out of park. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of steps of some possible things that it could be, and then we're going to tell you what it was that exactly happened to this. So I'm reduplicating what it is that I had already figured out. So let's get into it. All right, so first thing first, I did have some help on this. She broke down in the parking lot, and my former employer from a local tow company came out, and we know what he asked first. His first question was, get in the car and hit the brakes for me. The brakes did not come on. The brake lights were not coming on in the back. At first glance, when I showed up, I thought maybe there was something wrong with the shift linkage. I'll show you what that looks like under the hood. So I thought maybe something wrong with the shift cable. If you look, whoa, sorry, on a tripod here. But if you look, God darn camera. If you look just down in here, top of the neutral safety switch, you can see the shift cable goes into an arm, then connects by a little retaining nut that goes onto the neutral safety switch. It seemed like that wanted to move, but as I said, I just got kind of frustrated because it was in the evening and I wanted it towed back to my house. So lo and behold, when the tow truck finally got there, sorry, moving around a lot, it was my my old boss. And yeah, that was one of the first questions he had, was hit the brakes, and the brakes lights didn't come on. Check some fuses that are located up underneath here in the driver's area. I'll show you that here. Give me a second. And there's the fuse panel right there. So check fuses. Fuses were good. He wiggled some wires going to the brake light switch, and next thing you know, we had brake lights. So let me show you here. You can see that this is the brake light switch, and I have one of the connectors unplugged. There's a reason for that. I have it unplugged because I was trying to reduplicate the shifter not coming out of park. So obviously the circuit cannot be completed. Now, the funny thing is with this test, so you see that I got a couple of these new connectors on here. I'll show you the old connector in a minute. Now, I had power going in, and when I would push on the brake pedal, I did not have, this portion here would not light up. So he said it's probably a bad, brake light switch. So I went ahead and replaced it, 13 bucks, pretty cheap fix. Put it on there. Now, when I hit the brake pedal, the circuit's completed, and this does light up, and I'll show you. So, turn the key on. Let me put my test light up here. You can see I've got, it's not lighting right now. This part will light up, and it will stay lit the entire time. That's the power wire going in. And this should be the signal wire for when you hit the brake pedal, the light comes on. Okay, it wasn't doing that before. So now that it started to do that, now mind you, this is a completed circuit when I have the connector put on, and I couldn't figure out why it still wasn't coming out of park and why I still didn't have brake lights. Well, what was happening is I was actually not getting the full voltage that I needed up here to this top wire. I don't have a DVO on right now to show you how many volts that it has, so maybe I'll go grab that real quick. All right, so if I put my DVO and I got it hooked up to a good ground, and I got the DVO over here made by Klein. If I take this red test lead and I put it here where the power comes in, I should have battery voltage, and I do. All right, 12.5 volts. Now, if I have it here, let me make sure the key's on. Now with the key on, I wonder, is the voltage gonna be the same on our power inlet? Let's see. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now, if I go here, it's kind of jumping around a little bit. Okay. Now if I apply the brakes, battery voltage. So what was happening, and this is a long story, short story. What was happening was that this green wire with red tracer, even though it was in the connector and I wasn't getting full power here, I was still getting power. So with my test light, it was still lighting up. So I thought I was good, which is what confused me. So I took the connector off to see if maybe there might have been something that I missed, or maybe some kind of corrosion. And when I took the connector off, this green wire broke off finally. So there was probably only like 1 or 2 strands actually keeping that on there. But now, if I go and I hook, let me turn the key off real quick. If I hook up the signal, or the other part of the circuit here, hang on. It's gonna be hard to do with 2 hands. Let me just hook this back up. If I hook that back up, like so, okay, now, dang. You guys can still see me. Now, I should be able to start the car, put on the brake lights should be coming on in the back, and now I can get it in and out of gear. So that's what was happening. So special thanks to Troy. I appreciate the help, you know, pointing me in that direction to further investigate the brake light switch, because that's exactly what it ended up being. Not just the switch, but it was a dual part issue. So 2-part issue. So I'm just wondering if something had shorted out because of the wire, you know, there's not being very much wire left, and it being like that over time, or it shorting to ground on accident somewhere else. I don't know. I did check the rest of that wiring harness going up to and through the firewall, and everything looks to be good. But we got full voltage now. Brake lights work. Shifter does come out. Let me grab that connector so you guys can see what the connector looks like if you haven't seen it before. All right, so here's the connector here. Hope you guys can see that. I did cut the red with green tracer wire, which is the one that goes to the bottom of the switch, the bottom right corner of the switch, and the other wire, which was green, and I believe with red tracer. Let me take a look. Yeah, green with red tracer was top left. Well, you guys can see that, but there was a little bit of green corrosion on the inside, and looks like there was only maybe 3 wires that was holding the whole thing together. So the lesson to learn here is, if you have a Ford Taurus and you can't get the shifter out of park and the linkage appears to be good, looking at it from underneath, you might check, one of the first things you might check would be, do the brake lights come on? Then from there, obviously check your fuses, see if you're getting good voltage down at the brake light switch. Notice I didn't say check to see if you have power, because that's what happened to me. Was I checked to see if I had power. I did have a little bit going in on one side, but was getting no signal or command from the other. So I thought, change the switch. I changed the switch. Now I had power and I had signal, but it wasn't enough to get it fully out of park. There wasn't enough voltage getting to it. So when I took the connector back off and that wire popped off, I took little tiny butt connectors, stripped, crimped, put on. Now it works. Now we're getting full battery voltage. Now the shifter comes out of park. So that's all I got for this video, guys. I hope it helps somebody out there that's had an issue with their vehicle being stuck in park, especially if you have a 97 Ford Taurus like this one. That's all I got. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. If you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and we'll see you next time. Peace.